Good afternoon, Copers. Hello. What up, guys? It is Saturday, March 14th. It is fight night. Fight night, Gypsy Crusader versus Super Hot Fire. We're going to be streaming that, sniping that later tonight. But first, it's the call-in show, taking your calls. If you want to talk to me, you can find the link in the description on YouTube, Rumble, Odyssey, or the About sections on Cozy, Crusaders, 88 Streams, etc., etc. The Orthodoxer, you're live on the Daily Cope. What's your take?
Hey, LP, how have you been, big guy?
Pretty good. How are you?
Touch and go here. Just health issues. Got a doc appointment in a couple weeks, but I'm doing well. It's like I think since we last spoke, it's been about a few weeks. I think I've completely given up alcohol. I have 4 weeks sober. No gooning at all for over a month. And it's just I feel good, but then also at the same time, it's like as I'm trying to get closer to God, it's just I get weird issues with chest pains and whatnot. That's why I'm going to see a doctor, but I'm okay. I'm dealing with it. But I was going to bring up the Paul fight, and you just mentioned it. Dude, I did not know Paul was so much taller than super whatever that
Super Hot Fire.
Black gentleman's name is.
Super Hot Fire. I'm not a rapper.
Dude, I saw him chimping out so hard on like Twitter clips. I didn't know what was happening. And then I saw how much he cowered when he saw Paul like face to face.
Like he was like actually shaking, you know, I mean, it was like nervous jittering, but yeah, you could tell he's like, oh my God, this is gonna suck.
Yeah, dude, I'd be scared as hell to go again. I mean, obviously, I'm not a fighter at all. I'd get my ass whooped you could whoop my ass pretty easily. I'm not a fighter, dude, but it's like if I was still like a trained fighter, it's like Paul would not only frame mog me, he's also, I think, isn't Paul, don't some guys that I think they would know in chat, I think he's a Muay Thai champion, or he was at one point.
I don't know about champion necessarily, but he was a professional fighter. He's done like professional fighting for a while and trained in that. So he, you know, it's not his first rodeo. I think Super Hot Fire got like over cocky because he won a couple boxing matches, and he was like, I'm good at this. And he thought it would be like, you know, a way to like, obviously this fight's getting a lot of attention, you know, not surprising to me. I've said it over and over, but Paul is like huge. Like everybody knows this. Aiden Ross knows this. You know, they're not even like the title fight, but literally that fight is going to draw 30 times as many people as the title fight, whoever the fuck those guys are. You know what I'm saying? It would be like if iDubbbz had Sam Hyde on Creator Clash 1. It's like everybody would have tuned in for that. Same kind of thing here. So yeah, I think he just was like overconfident because he won a couple fights, and he didn't really realize even like how big Paul is. And I think he's definitely kind of having second thoughts, getting cold feet based off of the face off there.
Dude, seriously. Have you met Paul? Haven't you taken a picture with him before?
No, I've never met him IRL, no.
Oh, okay. It was Sam Hyde. I was thinking Sam Hyde. I was like, you and Sam Hyde are like the same size. Y'all are both like really freaking tall, big guys. So it's like, I was picturing you with Paul for some reason. Anyway, do we know how tall Paul is? Or how tall Paul is? Is he what, 6'2", 6'3"?
I think he's pretty tall. It probably says on his fighter card or whatever. I'm sure they'll show it. They always show those stats before the fight. So, but I offhand, I don't actually know.
Okay. I also wanted to ask about. I know it's a meme, and I think Cat Respector's the one who copy pastas it all the time. The Metal Gear Solid meme thing. It's like, oh, what do you think of MGS3?
Yeah.
I just got it yesterday, so I'm gonna see how it goes. And I just beat Resident Evil Requiem. It's so freaking good. How far are you into it?
I feel like I'm about maybe halfway, but I don't actually know how long it is. Resident Evil games typically are not super long, so I'm like 7 hours maybe of playtime. But I died a lot, but so that's how far into it I am. I don't know. I'm in the basement part with Grace or whatever, where you're.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't know how far.
I'm not going to give away anything at all, but as I hinted at earlier with a super chat, I was not expecting some things. That's all I'm going to say. Very good game.
Yeah. So yeah, it's amazing. I plan to go back to Metal Gear Solid, but not till I'm completely finished with because Resident Evil is like next level. Yeah.
Dude, it's just so good. I'm not going to waste too much time talking video games because I know people don't like to hear it. One more point on video games. Did you beat Silent Hill too, right?
Yeah.
Okay. What's the LP verdict on that game? What did you think of it? Just briefly.
I thought it was awesome. I got really into it where I was like, I'd be going through my day and being like, man, I can't wait to go play some more Silent Hill 2 or whatever. So I liked it a lot. I didn't do any replays or platinums, but I occasionally think about it because I a lot of times I don't like my games. I'm like, maybe I should re-download Silent Hill 2 and play it some more. I liked it more than Silent Hill F.
Yeah, there was another Silent Hill game. I forgot the name of it. It was like a 2-3 hour long game, and it was literally like woke, just left as garbage. Mm-hmm. It was terrible. I forgot the name of it. It was just like some side project thing my buddy and I played in one sitting. I'm like, that was like the worst game I played in a while. And I was like, what the fuck? But anyway, enough about video. Do we got people in the queue?
Yeah, I got a couple people waiting, so
okay, one more quick thing to mention. I am at my church. I'm actually not being a loser incel chud. I'm actually going out, I'm meeting with women. Haven't gotten anywhere really with them, but I'm establishing a bigger friend group, as I mentioned,
right.
Last week or whatnot. It's going well, dude. We were supposed to go to a monastery as a big group, but then so many people backed out today, so it got canceled. So it's got to be another trip, but we're also going to be doing other stuff. We're thinking about doing movie nights and stuff like that, like you've mentioned before.
Yeah, man, movie nights.
Hashtag exclamation mark and $% exclamation mark $# times / plus _ divided by _ hash _ times respector sent $5.
All right. All right, Orthodoxer. Good hearing from you, man.
Yeah, peace with you, LP.
All right, cheers. Jake, you're live on the Daily Cope. What's your take?
Get the fuck out of here. I'm already on, huh? How you been, buddy?
Good, man. How's it going?
Can you hear me all right? I got my Bluetooth on, so
yeah,
I could turn it off if I don't sound so great.
I think it's okay.
Okay. So maybe you don't remember, but I recommended Legion of Men. You said you never heard of that guy for a what's your Wednesday show called again?
The Progress Report.
Yeah. Okay. And then have you heard of Joel Webbin?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. I think he'd be another good guest if you could get him. I know they're but he had Jake Shields on last week, and they were talking about that possibly the all the pagan gods are real.
Okay.
That was that Joel Webbins guy saying that.
Mm-hmm.
And he said that, and he mentioned that it says in the 10 Commandments you shouldn't
have any gods before me.
Yeah, correct. So, and then you go look back at the Old Testament, you have a lot of they talk about the Nephilim, and all that shit. So I was just wondering what you think about that.
Well, I would have to hear the argument for the pagan gods are real. I'd be interested. I'm not sold, to put it lightly. I kind of like Corey from Stone Choir. He has a sort of thing about how he because people have talked about this before, that there's similarities between Odin and Jesus. Odin being like nailed to a tree or something like that, and
Right.
Jesus being nailed to a cross. And Corey's theory is that, you know, Adam and Eve were like the first Christians, and that basically humans were Christians, but it was lost because Adam and Eve knew God, so they knew who God was, but it was like lost through time. And that this other, so the pagan stuff is sort of like a memory of like they're trying to grasp at something that they know is out there. I thought that was interesting. I don't have strong feelings about it. It's not something I've given a lot of thought in. I haven't heard, like, you know, whatever Joel Webbin, whatever led him to that, I don't know. I do, like, I am inclined to think that there's like demons. So once you, you know, once you accept that there's like demons and angels, then it's not that much of a leap to say that there's like other lesser gods or whatever. But I don't really know.
Right. That was kind of that's kind of what my conclusion was. Yeah. It's, yeah, a lot of people worshiping demons, but I don't really think that, you know, angels would want to be deities, you know what I mean? So it'd have to be a lot of like false gods.
Yeah, I don't know. It doesn't, I guess, like I guess the first question would be like, why does it, like, let's, like, okay, Odin is real, so what does that mean for me, like, practically? Like, what do I do with that information? You know what I mean? And I don't really know what the answer is to that.
Well, in the Old Testament, it's a lot of fallen angels that are like procreating with human women, creating these.
That's
like,
the Nephilim, right?
freaks.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Nephilims, giants, you know, like a lot of similarities between Hercules and Samson,
right,
that sort of thing. So, all right. Well, cool, man. Well, thanks for taking my call. I'll let you go. I'm sure you got other people lined up, and you got next week or no? You got the week after off, right?
Yeah, I'm doing one more week, and then I'm out of here for a week.
Yeah, Irish week. Well, hell yeah, man. I'm got a wee bit of Irish in me. I'll be looking forward to that.
Nice.
Take care, brother.
You too, Jake. Thanks for calling.
Bye.
Cheers. Sergeant Hodel, you're live on the Daily Cope. What's your take?
Hey, how's it going, LP?
Good.
The Orthodox
Okay,
said
good to hear.
$3. The pagan gods are real. They're literally just demons. Fallen angels. It's pretty easy to grasp to me.
You there?
Interesting. Yeah, I was just letting that power chat go by.
Word.
Yeah, I was thinking, not a lot of people talk about it, but with all the Fell For It Again awards going around, like Japan, they had like a big right-wing turn in their recent election, but then their president also said, hey, we're going to have Infinity Indians, and she kind of tricked the whole people, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And then Trump
I
saying,
haven't followed that
we're only going to go after criminals, and we're not going to worry about people until they, you know, literally steal money or kill somebody or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Is that I think like the problem of why they always backstab us on immigration is that in countries like Japan, where you have like freedom, liberalism type of stuff, not Saudi Arabia, where they don't care about human rights, you can't get people to work low status jobs, even if you pay them good. Like, remember they were talking about Panda Express workers?
Yeah.
And how they make $75K or whatever?
Yeah.
And I think like the reason why they can't get people to work at Panda Express is because you can't get laid if you work at Panda Express.
That's funny.
Unless you're living
It's
in a
funny
ticket
you
check,
say
you
that,
know?
because I had to do a Target pickup today, And I was like the guy was like getting me my Target order, and I was literally thinking to myself, like, look at these poor bastards. Like, I would literally kill
so bad.
myself if this was my life. And
bad, dude.
you know, take that with a grain of salt, because I have worked a lot of shitty jobs, but it's almost like I almost like see it as a scam now. You know, like there's almost, you know,
Yeah.
this. As a higher IQ guy, it's like there's no reason you should be working a shitty job like that. You know what I mean? So
Well, yeah, the bad part is like you have this stock market that we're all attached to. Like all these pension funds are attached to the stock market, and the stocks are all these bullshit stocks that rely on dirt cheap labor.
yeah,
And if you take away that dirt cheap labor, the whole freaking thing starts crashing down.
yeah.
And when we were younger, in like the 1990s and 1980s, they didn't have like nowadays. Like teenage girls get on Instagram like at 16, and
yeah.
it goes beyond your school, goes beyond your area.
You know, I
And
find your
hypergamy, but
theory.
now-
I
yeah.
find your theory interesting, because I was gonna say it's capitalism. Like, this is sort of where I landed, where it's like, you know, the rich,
Gay race capitalism.
rich corporate people, they need labor, like you say. So they have influence on the government. So I always just sort of chalk it up to that. But you made an interesting point. You said like Saudi Arabia, which is also like a capitalist country, they don't do that. And you're
They don't
saying
care about human
it's
rights.
because people don't have to get laid over there, or
Well,
like,
they basically, as far as I understand it, because I used to work in Vegas, and some Saudi Arabians would come in and gamble. And if you're like a real Saudi Arabian, you're attached to this rich lineage where basically you get kind of paid like Alaska or something. You get paid to do nothing pretty much.
yeah.
And like only the people like in the lineage get this benefit. And all the people that they bring over for slave labor and stuff, like don't get anything.
Right. So they do bring immigrants in to do the shit jobs, but they just don't like give them like rights, like voting rights and shit like that. Right. Okay. Yeah. That's,
And and I think if we did that, it would solve the problem the only way I think is possible. Because like I was saying as we go on, the hypergamy is going to get worse. This means that you don't get the Sonic girl delivering you the Sonic hot dog, because she goes on Instagram. She goes into her status is already too high to work as the Sonic girl.
Mm-hmm.
And then the Sonic burger flipper doesn't want to flip burgers because he can't get laid. So it's like a double whammy on the shit job economy.
Feels like robots could do all of these jobs theoretically, though. Like, I know it's not right now, that's not possible, but it feels like we're not too far off from that being plausible.
Well, yeah, they can't get the freaking ice cream machine to work in McDonald's correctly for years. So I don't
That's
know.
so fun. That's so true.
Doing all
That's so
making
real.
sushi and stuff.
Same at Sonic. But you know they're lying about that, right? You know when you go to Sonic and they tell you the ice cream machine, it's because they don't want to make your.
Like if you wanted to make robots, there'd be like a scam thing where people who buy the robots are getting scammed and blah blah blah, and there'd be like all this like copyright bullshit probably and all this shit like that, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I was just bringing that up because, you know, it seems like everywhere is committing Canadian healthcare on their society by inviting all these infinity migrants over.
Yeah.
And everybody is thinking like it's because they want cheap labor, but nobody addresses how would you get, let's just say we got rid of all the migrants. How would you get a like fifth generational English British kid to work a shitty job at Taco Bell?
Yeah. I feel like my answer to that is like, if Taco Bell goes away, so be it. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
that's
my answer is like, okay, let's have a free market where
retirement is attached to Taco Bell.
Right. If these things can't survive, If I have to, if it gets to the point where I have to like fucking like hunt my own meat, as long as there's no brown people around, I say so be.
That's
I
what I'm
say
saying.
I'm that's a deal I'm willing to make. Okay, if the grocery stores have to
Yeah.
go out of business because no one's willing to stock the shelves, I'll
Yeah.
plant a garden. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. One other quick thing I wanted to bring up is like the goyim are really just driving me insane lately,
Yeah.
and like I like live it. I speak with normies and stuff, but these are like normies that this is like a patriotic type of job. Like I work with a lot of magatards, right? And
Mhm.
even magatards, they are so not racist, man. They're not like us online guys.
Yeah.
And when you say like, dude, you're a good, you're a good engineer or whatever, probably because of your genetics and what like it has something to do with it. And like these white guy magatards in these like good jobs, they don't like it when you say that because it takes away
Yeah.
them pulling themselves up by their bootstraps.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, that
And
makes
they want to
that makes
believe that
perfect sense.
everybody could have done it. Like
Right.
everybody could have been an engineer like me and made money, but they just were lazy, unlike me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, well, that's a little bit of it, but also genetics has something to do with it, but that takes away from their story or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, no,
And on top of that, they don't want to be racist. But
yeah, genetic determinism is a hard pill to swallow in a lot of areas. Like you really have to sort of let go of a lot of kind of what you were told growing up about
yeah, because I'll be in a
building
room with
character
like
and
white
this and
engineer
that.
type
Yeah.
dudes, and then I'll be like trying to explain to them this kind of in a light way that doesn't sound totally
Yeah.
insane. And I'll try to say, okay, did Einstein pull himself up by his bootstraps, or was Einstein IQ so high he literally didn't really need to try that hard?
Yeah.
He would have. Yeah, but they don't. They blow that off. They're like, oh, everybody could go to college and be like me. They're just lazy and blah blah blah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways.
And then they like to blame everything on parenting too. Like that becomes a big cope of like, oh, well, they just weren't raised right. Like these gangbangers or lazy people or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, these genetically, some of the people are born doomed.
Yeah, it's true.
if you say that, they can't. The Goyim can't take it, man. They're like, oh no.
I remember there was a lady who wanted,
so
like at Oxford, who said that like being lazy was a disability, that like lazy people should get welfare, and like all the conservatives were like, look, listen to this libtard, listen to this like stupid SJW or whatever. But it was like,
What's
she's
funny
not like
is that it's kind of true because
yeah, exactly.
let's say you're black and there was this thing I heard that white people, because of like the winter or whatever, they had to wake up earlier because of like evolution or some shit. So white people woke up earlier, and other races like in the tropics that are chilling in a tropical environment don't need to wake up early or whatever. And that like white people time when they wake up early is kind of like when you have like some people from the tropics or like sub-Saharan Africa or whatever, where they weren't really, it's always good weather or whatever. That
the harsh winter.
Like the times don't match. So this kind of
okay, Sergeant Hodel. I got other people waiting on a.
Oh yeah, no problem.
We could talk about this all day, but yeah. All right, man. Thanks for calling. Appreciate it.
No problem.
Cheers. Finn, you're live on the Daily Cope. What's your take?
Man, that last dude was kind of racist. Honestly.
Yeah.
He kept saying genetically. I'm like, just say what you mean then. You're gonna say it, you might as well say it,
Yeah. Well, he did. In all fairness, he did. He said that MAGA people aren't as racist as people like us. But anyway, what's on your mind, man?
I don't know, man. Just chilling, listening.
Can I show your dog on stream or?
Of course, bro.
It's like I'm talking to the dog. I want to show people this. Yeah. So what's going on, man? What's on your mind, Finn?
I don't know, man. Give me a topic. I'll give you my hot take.
I do have other people waiting to talk. So if you really got nothing to say, I'm just gonna let you go.
All right. Peace out, my brother.
All right, man. Thanks for calling. Ryan, you're live on the Daily Cope. What's your take, sir?
Hey, I just wanted to talk about the other guy saying like nobody wants to work at Taco Bell if you're like a decent white guy. And it's like that's obviously because like it's not about Taco Bell, it's about the people you're fucking dealing with. So it's like kind of self-perpetuating, like all these shitty jobs you're dealing with, like the shitty minorities, entitled minorities. So like if you just lived in like Whiteville, USA, like Taco Bell wouldn't really be that bad.
I think that's a very good point. I think that's really astute because it's like you used to go to Dairy Queen and it was like, cute high school girls and whatever working. And it's like everybody was like a high school kid. And so it wasn't really like a status thing. It wasn't, nobody thought of it as low status. It was just like, this is a job you do when you're in high school. I got a job at McDonald's when I was 14, which is pretty young to be getting an actual, but like, and it was sort of the same way, but like as time went by, it became like, it's not a bunch of white high school kids working at McDonald's. It's adult brown people who smell bad.
Yeah, and it's also like the people that go there, it's like the clients, you know what I mean? So
yeah.
It becomes low status if the people that go there are fucking low status,
Yeah.
So
that's a good point.
that's
You're
my
right.
point.
If we had Whiteville, USA, so many of our problems would be solved. So many of these problems would just fix themselves. So it all again, it just comes back to like the rich capitalists. I'm turning into a commie, man. I picture like the Monopoly man in my head, and I want to like kill him because it's like his fault, he's the one doing this. But
yeah, did you see the thing about I can't remember what fast food chain it was, but like they have some sort of like AI like helper on their headset, like follow them around the fast food restaurant, like tell them when to clean the bathrooms and shit.
No, it sounds like something an Indian invented.
Yeah, well, it's like anyway, so like they tell them like they track like how they speak to customers and like make sure they're saying like please and thank you enough, make sure they're checking the restrooms like every hour but anyway, it sounds dystopian, but the really dystopian part about it is that it's not to get people to do their jobs better. It's to train AI, like train some long language model to like pick up
do the
on
job,
these, like, interactions. But yeah. So I just moved to Florida. A little side note, I just moved to Florida. I'm getting the full American experience. My landlord is gay and Jewish, and I just had this job interview that I'm like a shoo-in for, and the manager is a black Israelite, so I didn't get the job.
Okay, hold on. So is the landlord, I'm picturing like a guy with like a really raspy voice, like an old guy who's like, he wears like Hawaiian shirts and he's got like a super raspy voice. Is it like that or not at all?
No, that's what I expect to, but not really.
Okay. And how do you know
he's cool?
How do you know the employer was a black Israelite? How did that come up?
So I was back there getting the interview, and I literally could like see on one of his like second monitor like a bunch of like Hebrew, and I'm like, here we fucking go. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, and I'm like, I can't think this way. Like maybe I'm just hallucinating. Like this can't actually be happening. Like sure enough, like the interview was fine. Like I'm totally like a great interviewer and I'm qualified for the job. But like he was just kind of like going over my resume and like responding to my answers to questions like positively, but with like you're not gonna get this job. Like, oh yeah, I see here you got that. Oh, that's great. Yeah. Okay, next. Like
yeah.
So yeah.
Sweet.
But that's all I got to say. So we'll move on to other callers. Love the show.
All right, Ryan. Thanks for calling, man. Appreciate it.
See ya.
Cheers. Okay. Sergeant Hodel, get back in here. Everybody's gone. Sergeant Hodel, get back in here and let's talk shop about genetics. Let's talk about the final solution. No, does anybody want to call in though? Anybody at all? I would have told that guy to stick around, except it just really didn't seem like he had anything to say. But if you want to call back, anybody at all, dude. Okay, let me ask the chat something because I'm working on a segment for Monday's Cope. I'm working on like a good segment. Yeah, you can call in, Frank, if you want. And literally anybody can call in, so I don't have to do this. But does anybody in the chat, or is anybody familiar with Hell by the Dashboard Light? Hell by the Dashboard Light. Does that mean anything to anybody without using Google? These bitches want Nikes. You're live on the Daily Cope. What's your take? Hello?
What's up? You can. Oh shit! Hang on. Fuck, hang on. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Hello?
Yeah.
I'm sorry if I'm a little low. There we are. I'm having a bit of a problem here.
Wandering
I just want to call in and ask you, real quick.
$10. Is the fight stream still happening tonight?
Yeah, I'm still streaming the fight.
Sorry, I was letting that chat play. You know, I was thinking about this whole voting for Democrat thing. Actually, it's like stupid.
All right, man. We can't. You're roboting. You're roboting.
Yeah.
It's no good. It's no good.
Fuck. Sorry.
All right, man. Thanks for calling. Ryan, you're live on the Daily Cope. What's your take?
Hey, did you try out those Romanian deadlifts yet?
No, but I've been meaning to, but truthfully, no. But tomorrow, maybe. Because Sunday is like my squat day, and I want to do them on my squat day. That's my plan.
Yeah, you want to do them probably after you do squats. So you're like your whole spinal column's like not fried.
Yeah, that's my plan. Squats and then Romanian deadlifts, and then I do the back. There's like I don't know what you call it, where you
hyper extensions.
Yeah, it's like that's good for my back because I have a lot of back pain. So I usually do that's usually like my Sunday routine,
dude,
minus the deadlifts, which I want to add in.
Yeah, you won't have to do that or anything additional. Like once you do the Romanian deadlifts, like I do like 3 sets, dude, and my like from my tailbone up to like the base of my neck is like fucking comfortably sore.
Okay.
It's nice.
Okay. I did like look up videos of it, and I remember there was like I saw a guy, there's an Asian, I even tweeted about it because there was an Asian guy at my gym doing it one day, and he had 7 plates on each side. And I was like, what the hell? So yeah, but yeah, I'm going to try to do that tomorrow. We're looking at a house tomorrow too. Me and the fam.
Nice.
Yeah. I don't know.
Well, you can do Romanian deadlifts on the same day you look at for a house. So
good to know.
Unless you disable yourself doing them.
Yeah, I'll try not
to.
Which
is possible because if you haven't done anything for like your spinal column, you might really cook it. So I'd probably just do like 1 set.
Yeah, I'll take it easy.
All right, man. You got other callers?
I do.
All right, see ya.
All right, thank you. All right, Tortured, you're live on the Daily Cope. What's your take?
What's up, man?
Not much. Sup with you?
Wiggers and brown people.
Match made in heaven.
Oh yeah, it doesn't get better than that. Yeah. So about the voting for Democrats thing. I didn't really listen at all to what the last guy said because I was trying to set up the StreamYards.
Yeah.
But I understand the viewpoint that Nick is coming from with, we got to make it hurt for the Republicans, but in all reality, it's just like if he's the type of person that still has faith that this current political system can be salvaged, I just feel bad for people that genuinely take him seriously. You know what I mean?
I mean, I know what you mean. I don't know that I necessarily agree because the system that we got is the one that we got, and I'm not convinced that just like ignoring it is better than trying to do something. I'm not convinced that voting Democrat is the correct thing to do either. It's too bad we couldn't hear what the other caller was going to say, but yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, it's kind of a tricky subject because on one side you're kind of teetering on Fed posting or what
Yeah,
have you,
true. Yeah,
and on the other side, the reality of the situation is that they just simply do not, the powers that be do not let people into the system that aren't willing to play ball. You know what I
right.
mean?
Yeah. I mean,
So
I'm
any
also very skeptical that if the Republicans get smashed, that a bunch of top level Republican strategists are going to be like, wow, we need to make more concessions to the Groypers. You know what I mean?
no
Like,
dog, we're all, if the
I'm
Democrats win, we're all
I'm
going
very
to jail.
skeptical that that would register as a thought in anyone's mind who actually like has the ability to like give concessions to the Groypers, like that they would even be cognizant of that is not necessarily, something
so
you
out
should
of
take for
touch.
granted. Yeah.
Because the issue is that the people that are in both of these administrations, the age old phrase, two sides of the same coin. At the
Mhm.
end of the day, they all want jobs. They're all friends with each other.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter like
Yeah. They
whether or
all just
not.
want to do their insider trading and get
Yep.
rich.
Yep.
Really, America is
So
just like a feeding trough for the politicians, or whatever. Like it's really just like people trying to like suck what they can out of like a failing system, or a corrupt system. It really is very corrupt, I
yeah,
think.
and
Yeah.
especially with the way the Iran war is going for us right now. I mean, obviously Israel's losing the war. We are being pushed out of the region just because we're like the they're going to win the war of attrition, you know what I mean? And we don't have the manufacturing capability to sustain any of this stuff. So that's going to have very intense and long-term repercussions on the US economy that the average person just isn't going to be able to uh you know uh, people that make I'd be willing to say people that make like more than 75K a year, they could probably stomach some lifestyle changes to be able to afford like gas and groceries and stuff like that. But this is going to be turning into a huge mess, and I it's kind of scary.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I don't know what's going to happen with all that, but definitely you could be right. You could be right. We'll see. I got a couple more callers, so I'm going to move on.
All right, sounds good.
All
Take
right,
it easy,
Torture.
man.
Thank you. All right, Frankie, I'm going to skip you just because I know you're kind of just like calling in to ramble, but I'll come back to you assuming there's time. All right, Kibbles, you're live on the Daily Cope. What's your take?
Hey, what's up? Hey, I just wanted to say something real quick. I feel like one of the major reasons why Nick Fuentes rose to power is the fact that he's half Mexican. What do you think?
I don't think that I don't think that helped him. Because the thing is this, people love to say the Groypers are all brown. That's not true. I don't think, like, at least based off of my experience of going to AFPAC, I don't think that is true. That everybody who likes Nick is like a Mexican or a Pakistani. I think there's a lot of white people who would find it easier to like him if he wasn't Mexican. But I do think Nick being Mexican makes it a lot easier for him to swallow things like the Bad Bunny Super Bowl show, not to harp on that again, or like what he was saying recently about how, wow, the immigration thing is over. It's like Latino futurism is just, that's where we're at. Like, it's like, oh, it's kind of easy for you to say when you could just switch teams, right? But I don't know about it.
You're just hitting my topics. I wanted to say, like, it was Man, for like a couple months ago, it was like YCSP was just like back to back Nick Fuentes clips, and I was getting real fatigued. I'm glad you've kind of like backed off on him. But yeah, my point was like no, that was just my take. I'm figuring that like he just kind of got big in power because it just takes a little bit to get ahead of everybody else. And I think just the fact that he was half Mexican, I think he's just got a whole bunch of people boosting his viewers, being brown, pushing him along, trying to normalize Latino futurism. That's just my take.
There is a lot of brown people out there, so it's plausible, but I do think that Nick is like just like objectively, like from my point of view, very talented pundit. So I don't know.
Yeah. Cool. Oh yeah, and it's just pretty obvious that it's just on brand that I don't watch Nick at all, but I'm glad you brought that up. I was laughing at that. It's just totally on brand that he would blame the whole immigration thing is like getting in the way of white people and such when I'm over here saying like, dude, fucking red alert, dude, like fucking like look at the fucking look at the public schools. It's like fucking 40% Mexican and shit. Like,
Yeah, Nick. Okay, in the last couple of months, there's been a couple times where I'm like, yeah, there's the Mexican speaking. There's that 25% coming out.
I'm so fucking fatigued, dude. I don't know.
All right, man. All right.
Yeah.
Anything else?
I could keep going, but if somebody wants to take over, yeah, sure.
Well, why don't you hit us with one more thing?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I want to talk. I'll expand on what someone said recently. Yeah, it's just. I think it's really sad when you fucking go to a fast food joint, and literally every single fast food joint they're all Mexican. Every single one of them you go to, it's just the whole staff is Mexican. I don't know if it's like that up in Washington, but it's like that in Oregon. Of course, it is like that in California. But it's just real sad when you go there and you see the one white guy working there with the whole, all these people. It's just sad, dude.
Yeah. No, we have like blacks a lot here. Like there's not very many blacks in Olympia, but you do see them working at the McDonald's drive-through or whatever. And then occasionally like fat middle-aged women too, I've noticed, who are like white women. There's one troon, a younger troon who's white. And then that's basically the demos of the McDonald's, which is like the almost the only one I go to. I know in Canada it's like Indians everywhere. That's like a meme. I was just in Canada last summer and I saw it myself. It's funny because it used to be Filipinos. And it was like, then one day it was like all the Filipinos are gone and now it's Indians just everywhere, just like overnight in the Tim Hortons and stuff like that. So yeah. What's funny too is if you somehow stumble into a fast food place where there's white people working, it's like your order's correct, they're polite, your fries are cooked correct, and you're like, oh wow, weird. Everything went smooth.
They're all cunts, dude. Like here's the thing, like they come over here and they work like at McDonald's and they're making money as if they're fucking brain surgeons back home. They go and they take their money and they go back home and their money is quadrupled. Mm-hmm. So they're sitting here working as fucking, flipping burgers, and the least they could fucking do, the very least they could fucking do is just be nice about it. You know what I'm saying? Just be fucking polite. They're sitting here making like basically four times as much money as we do, because they're going to go back and have the cushest fucking retirement ever with all this money they've got. The least they could fucking do is be nice about it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, I don't know if their lives are that great, but I get they could be polite regardless. All right, man. I got some more callers going. I'm gonna move on.
Peace.
Thank you, Kibbles. All right, Frankie. I'm gonna bring Frankie and Gabber on together because we don't have. Well, I guess we still got 15 minutes. We'll do a little roundtable discussion here. What's going on, gentlemen? Gabber, what's on your mind? Okay, Frankie, what's on your mind?
Sure, I can say that I know. You said "Hell by the Dashboard Light."
Yeah,
and
it's not the Meatloaf
the
song.
Yeah, but the Meatloaf song, there's a connection there. I don't know if you want to talk about the connection between like "Hell by the Dashboard Light" and the themes of the song "Paradise by the Dashboard Light."
Yeah,
because
no,
it's about teenage. Yeah,
right. Yes. No, the connection. Obviously, so "Hell by the Dashboard Lights."
Are we doing doubles?
Yeah, we're doing doubles. "Hell by the Dashboard Lights" is like a fringe manosphere guy whose like world I stumbled into, and I would listen to him ranting on these live streams he would do that would have like 40 people listening, and then he would delete them right after. But he was like an interesting guy. I thought about getting him on Sex Wars, and we kind of like, I would even like had a little back and forth with him about it just from the live chat. But anyway, obviously his name is inspired by the Meatloaf song, and basically saying like he's very kind of like black pilled on women. So that's, yeah, it's not a huge leap to figure out what he means by the name there. Yeah, my dad really likes that song, by the way. Gabber left. My dad really likes Meatloaf and Paradise by the. What's that? How's it go? Like, and now I'm praying to the end for the end of time. That's a funny line in that song.
Yeah, I like those Meatloaf songs. That one and I'll do anything for love, but I won't do that.
Yeah,
because they were like they're like these epic stadium rock 10-minute long songs. But yeah, the Paradise by the Dashboard Light uses the metaphor of a baseball game to describe like teenage pregnancy and the regret and stuff that comes with like committing yourself to someone based on like lust and prioritizing like sex over relationship and commitment and things like that, right?
Yeah.
So it's how would you describe it? It's supposed to be a satire by calling it paradise because, you know, and the dashboard light is in the car. Because
the paradise part is when you're having sex in the car, right? That's the paradise part. And then everything that comes after, maybe not so much. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know.
So there was that, and we could also talk about the wage thing, right? Because I mean, yeah, I hear a lot of shitting on retail jobs, but man, like those are the jobs that I had when I was growing up, right? Like those were the things that, you know, you could rely on as a young guy.
Yeah.
And just the way that immigration has happened nowadays is that we've created such a surplus of non-skilled labor in our countries that these companies know that they can choose from this giant pool of prospective employers. They can start reducing the commitments that they have to make as employers, right? One of the things increasingly that I've seen over the years is 0-hour contracts, right? No one wants to hire you as a permanent worker anymore because they know that they can get 50 people to replace you. And if they hire you, the government, at least in Canada, we have our Employment Standards Act, which means if I hire you, I need to give you a guaranteed amount of hours. I have to give you benefits after a certain amount of time, right? I have to give you wage increases. And these are things that these companies, they just know that they don't want it. This whole idea of corporations being psychopaths, they don't care about us as human beings. We're just labor for them. So that's why over time they've built this technocracy that is going to allow for them to replace us with machines because it just makes more money and it's more profitable to do it that way. So you need to repivot. You have to pivot yourself towards something that machines can't do. Like if machines can do your job, then you got to find something that machines can't do and then make that what it is.
Well, the funny thing is you don't know which way it's going to go because AI is going to easier replace like a lot of fake email jobs or whatever. And so actually until robotics catches up with AI, manual human labor might be like more valuable, you know, or like less less replaceable at least, but nobody really knows which way it's going to go. And maybe robots and AI will just do everything within the next 10 years. And we're all just going to get UBI, at which point we're all going to be really fucking sorry that there's so many low IQ brown people. Let me tell you that. But, I got a couple more people waiting. I'm going to try to go through them too, but I'd appreciate the call, Frankie. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Cheers. Take her easy.
Cheers. All right. Gabber, what's up, man?
I don't know what's going on. I suddenly can't hear you, LP, when I joined the call, but I could hear you before.
You can't hear me?
What I can say is hi, chat. Hi, LP. I love Jesus. Jesus is real. Stay strong out there, guys. Christ is king. I hope every one of you have a nice day.
Based. Sergeant Hoddle, what's up, man?
Yeah, I heard you talking about capitalism. I figured I'd just call it back real quick. Because if you notice, not that I'm a huge fan of communism, I don't really think there's much of a difference anymore. But the countries we're supposed to hate as the bad guys in the boomer truth regime is all communist countries like China, Cuba, Russia. But guess what? Those are the countries that don't have infinity Indians.
Yeah. Interesting.
So it's like maybe we're not doing things. So maybe they got some pointers that we could steal from here of why China doesn't have infinity Indians and all the other capitalist countries.
Yeah, the anti-commie propaganda it's really like they really get you with that good, don't they?
Yeah, in China they called when we had some NBA players over there, I think for the Olympics or something, they were calling them the N-word. I mean, they're based over there. I mean,
yeah.
Like it's kind of weird. Like they try to get you to hate people that are
I guess it helps that most white people in America who call themselves communists are like total retards and dysgenic freaks. Like that helps make it a big turnoff. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but the thing is that the white people who call themselves communists, they want to be part of the capitalist system. And if you have a lemonade stand, if you're selling lemonade, you don't care who's buying the lemonade as long as you're selling lemonade.
Mm-hmm.
And if Indians are buying your lemonade and Indians will make your lemonade cheaper than you having to stand there and make the lemonade yourself or whatever, then it's all gravy, you know? So, and another thing I wanted to bring up is a problem with the immigration things. I got this from Academic Agent is in the system we're in right now, like the Anglo system of the economy, because we all speak English, you know, mostly around the world. The U.S. dollar is the dollar system, and also the euro is also a strong currency. And another problem you're going to have is that the strong currencies like euro and dollar, what happens is the white guy prints the money, prints the dollars, prints the euros, and then these other countries with shitty currencies like Vietnam or Thailand, they want to get rid of their crappy currency and get a euro or get a dollar. And that also makes it that that's why the tariff thing is never going to work out, because if I borrow money from the bank, I borrow $10 million, why would I build my product here when I can go to Thailand or something and get like 10 times more for my dollar in the global system? So I don't think like they're going to be like opening up sweatshops in America, no matter how much you tariff.
Okay, yeah. Well, I feel like I should just issue a clarification, which is I'm not actually a communist. It's just like it's kind of a meme.
Oh yeah.
I don't think you need that if you have racial consciousness. Like if white people as a whole were racially conscious, then it would just be like impossible to import all these non-whites. It would be impossible because there'd be like a revolution if they were racially, you know what I mean? So
yeah, it might be that they can't handle it. It might be like to tell the goyim the truth. Could they ever handle the truth? You know, because there's a lot of consequences that go down from accepting truth to a certain degree.
Yeah. What do you mean by truth? Do you mean that like if the government came out and said, look, we need brown people to do shitty jobs? They say that. That's what like liberals say all the time. They're like, you know, who's gonna pick your fruit? Who's gonna like clean your toilets or whatever? They love that argument. The pro-immigration.
Yeah, and they love them. Whereas the right kind of hates them. You know, like the right's like, we don't want you here. But then they don't really have an answer for who's going to work at Panda Express.
Yeah.
And then you're tariffing things, and like the government's going to figure out, oh, this cheese is made in America. This cheese at this tariff. That cheese doesn't need this tariff.
Yeah.
How the heck is the government going to decide all the different tariffs? And then nobody makes things here because we use the dollar, and when you print dollars out of nothing, it's a fractional reserve system. I think it's like 15 to 1. For every $1 you can print 15. I think takes 1 million, turns it into 15 million, gives it 15 million, said, hey, go open up a business, make jeans. Why would you make the jeans in America? You could go to another country where they would love your dollar more than their shitty currency and get 10 times the, 10x the amount of stuff.
Yeah.
That's why I think for the listeners of the Cope, just a heads up, we're never probably going to make anything in America. So if you're looking at jobs, you want to get jobs that have nothing to do with actually making things.
Yeah. Be an influencer. You can be an influencer. You can be a speculator.
Lawyer, service stuff.
You can
be a
trade
fireman,
cryptocurrency.
Be a cop, go into the military. Something like that. But like opening up their sweatshop or like manufacturing cars and all that stuff. No, that's eventually almost going to be all gone.
Word. All right, man. I think I'm just gonna call it a day because I'm doing another stream, doing the fight stream later tonight. So I'm gonna get out of here and try to get some other work done.
Oh yeah, Gina Carano. I want to see that one.
No, it's
Ronda
Gypsy
Rousey.
Crusader.
Oh, that one's tonight too.
Yeah, is the Gina Carano fight tonight?
I think it's on Netflix tonight. Pretty sure. I'll double check.
Let me look at that. I don't have Netflix anymore. I canceled my Netflix.
I wish I could, but my wife is such a normie that she refuses to let me cancel the Netflix.
Is it? I wanted to watch that too, though. I wanted to watch both of them. No, this says May 30. No, that's not right. May 16th. So that's a ways away.
All right, good.
Yeah. All right.
All right, LP. Well, hey, man, appreciate the Coke, man. My locals thing got canceled. What's the preferred method to contribute monthly? Because I've stopped using locals and my card got changed and everything.
Yeah.
Is it Rumble better?
Locals is actually the recommended one, but whatever you want to do. PayPal is good.
I can do locals. I just got to update my card information. So yeah, I'll go back.
The reason I recommend locals is because if I ever actually do make exclusive content, you'll get access to it, whereas PayPal you won't. But those are kind of my two favorites, are locals and PayPal. Everyone else takes a bigger cut.
Okay, cool. Yeah, because I wasn't sure what locals is owned by that one guy,
Dave Rubin.
Well, I guess he sold it, right? He sold it to Rumble.
Yeah, Rumble owns it now, so.
Yeah, so now it's cool. All right, LP, have a good weekend, man.
You too, man. Thanks for calling. Oh, man. All right. Bitches,
hey,
make it quick. Make it real quick.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
I hear you.
Okay. You already touched on the Democrat thing that I was wanting to talk about. I don't want to say any of that. I just wanted to say that if I had my way, you'd be our leader and not Nick. I just wanted to say that if I had my way, it would be you in charge of the movement. But we got what we got. But I just wanted to say that Christ is king, and that's it.
Based. Thanks. If I had it my way, I'd have a full head of hair, and I'd be 20 years younger and 2 extra inches in length. Eric Dong Komet, you're live on the Daily Cope. What's your take?
Yo,
quick.
Hey, here to disagree.
Yeah, it's been a long time, but you're kind of at the end of the show, so we're gonna have to make it quick.
Well, it was, I guess the reason that I was inspired to call in was hearing the fella saying how there won't be any manual jobs. We're not going to make anything in America.
Okay.
And I thought, well, hang on a second. I know of at least a couple of guys who are knife makers, 100% American, 100% self-employed, and they're making things, and that's how they feed themselves and their family. And I think that people should be looking into doing more of that kind of thing, because as it was put to me, during the Industrial Revolution, this is kind of a cliche probably, but during the Industrial Revolution, they took over the work of the body, and now the AI is going to take over the work of the mind. So basically, either you have to cede to all of that and just become a a dumb slob, or you have to start doing for yourself and trying to make things and do things, for your community, but also for the world at large and what have you. And I'll just very quickly share just a theory, okay? I don't know for a fact, but I have a theory that Nicolas Fuentes is not self-employed.
Okay.
And I think that he is a very plausible candidate for being a Jesuit operative. You heard it's the Jesuits who are really running the show?
I've heard it. I thought it was just a meme. I didn't know people were serious.
Yeah, it's one of those things, because I was reading about this years ago when I was reading about the New World Order and all that stuff, and you're like, well, that, it could be or not. I don't know.
You're gonna have to call in some other Saturday and tell me about the Jesuits. I don't got time for all this.
Well, it's that would be a good idea, or maybe someone else can call in who knows more about it than me.
Okay. Word.
Well, cool. I've been keeping up with the show. It's great to hear you. Thanks for letting me call in, and I'll let you go now.
All right, thank you, man. Have a good one.
All right, you too. Have a good weekend. Bye.
Cheers. I will say this. I agree with Eric. You should be building. He's right. Build your own thing. He's absolutely right. I'm just finishing up Andrew Torba's book called Reclaiming Reality, and that's pretty much the whole thesis of his book, is how like we need to build our own, he calls it like parallel institutions or the parallel but like Christians need to build their own things and then network with each other. And Gab is like an example. Give Send Go is another good example of like, instead of like asking for permission and like complaining that GoFundMe like banned you just build your own thing. That's like what Give Send Go did. And not only is it like really successful and the guy who made it probably makes like a lot of money, but also it's like what would have happened to Kyle Rittenhouse and Daniel Penny if Give Send Go wasn't there. You know what I mean? So anyway, I'll do like a full review of Torba's book at some point. It might be a members only video, but you should be trying to build something. Absolutely. Okay. I'm streaming tonight. People keep asking me where. I think I'm going to do it on like everywhere, but it'll be like the iHypocrite. I'm just going to go all in. So I'm going to go on the iHypocrite YouTube. I hope I don't get a DMCA or anything like that, but I kind of feel like I won't. I feel like they want you to do this. So we'll see how it goes. But yeah, it'll be easy to find. You won't have a hard time finding the stream. All right, you guys have a good one. YCSP tomorrow, 6 p.m. I'll start around 5-ish, maybe a little bit later today. I was looking at the card. There's so many fights. There's like, I really don't want to like sit through like 30 fucking nobodies fighting, but we'll see. It'll be up at some point. All right, you guys, enjoy your weekend. I'll catch you on the flip side. Peace out.